Riv, who's your MVP this season?
Is he going to be real?
I'm going to be real. I'm not going to be biased. Obviously, my biased pick is Steph Curry. But the unbiased pick, I'm
shocked.
If you look at you look at the top guys in the league right now, LeBron, Giannis, the Joker, Embiid. I don't want to dig too much into the numbers because they're all putting up elite level numbers. They're all Joker's leading in advanced stats. Embiid, his monsters, statistics. Giannis, he's doing what he does every year. But I'm looking more towards the impact. Who's really been the most valuable player? And for me, it's been Joel Embiid. I feel like coming into this season, people thought they would fall off a cliff. Ben Simmons wasn't going to play. People thought, all right, this team isn't going to be where it's going to be. Can Embiid hold up health-wise? He comes into the season, puts up dominant performances.
Crazy.
Averaging a double-double, being that defensive anchor for this team, being that offensive, getting double-teamed all year, and he's still putting up the numbers he's putting up. He's improved on the offensive game, and something we thought couldn't even be possible. He's done that. So for me, as much as the Joker has done more with a little bit of less, I feel like the expectations for Philly where they were going to drop off in the sense where they haven't dropped off. Now, Harden could mess up his MVP case in a good way because he could play phenomenal. And, we've seen in the past that kind of hinders MVPs. When two guys are playing at an elite level, it kind of makes one guy go down. But for me right now, I think Embiid is the MVP because of what he's done for his team. Being at the fact that if he doesn't play, this team drops. But him being at that type of elite level and the fact that he just outplayed Giannis literally just yesterday or 2 days ago, for me, that it was between those two guys for me, and that game kind of put me a little bit for Embiid. So for me right now, MVP is Embiid.
I'm really, really, really surprised you did not say DeMar DeRozan. Listen, bro, regardless of bias aside, like when you said if
that's
it was
a dark
bias,
horse.
Yes, it is.
That is
when
a
you
real
said
dark horse.
bias, I would take
Real
Steph Curry.
I
was shocked that your bias wouldn't say DeMar DeRozan, especially that he just broke a record that Wilt Chamberlain held. When you're breaking a record that Wilt Chamberlain held, you're playing at a different type of level.
And shout out to the Discord because we were in the voice chat not too long ago with all of the people in there, and I told you Embiid could not play Giannis. When we were talking about a potential playoff matchup between the two.
Wait, but who said they couldn't though?
They said it in the chat.
I think you said something along the lines of, I don't know, you said that, but you also said something that made some people react. You said something else that was like, what?
No, I said Philly can beat Milwaukee in a series.
No, but it wasn't that. You said something else with
the Celtics that were going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's what it was.
But that was in the Discord, so I'm not like he was just chatting.
No, I said the Celtics and Heat are like my sleeper for Eastern Conference Finals picks.
I think you said Joel can lock up Giannis.
No. I mean, I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of possibility.
I think that's where you
but I did react. No. What I originally said. What I originally said was that Philly can beat Milwaukee in a series, and you guys answered back with they just got blown out by Boston.
Don't say you guys. I was very quiet.
Well, somebody said they just got blown out by Boston.
We're gonna epic lankiness. He did it.
Yeah,
it was him.
That was him.
I'm the snitch. It was him.
And now when they faced, we saw Embiid. They were double teaming him. It doesn't matter. Like Embiid just is that offensively gifted. It doesn't matter.
No, he's the most skilled big in the NBA right now.
All right, who's your MVP pick?
My MVP right now is actually Giannis Antetokounmpo. I believe right now it's unfortunate that with what we're talking about right now, Joel Embiid definitely got the upper hand, but it's a long game, and Giannis has been playing out of his mind. He's actually almost caught up to Jokic's PER, where he's only 0.3 behind him when Jokic was about to set the all-time record, but we all understood that as the season goes on, it just inevitably goes lower and lower. Giannis is number 2 in scoring right now, one of the league leaders in rebounds, one of the league leaders in blocks. He's been on both sides of the court, arguably the best player in basketball. And Milwaukee has been facing adversity throughout the entirety of the season where Brook Lopez immediately goes down. You have Jrue Holiday missing some time. You have Chris Middleton missing some time. Giannis misses a couple games with COVID. But for majority, he has been the glue guy that has been the most consistent player in the NBA throughout the entirety of the year. He's been special. And for me, come down the line, I'm going to ruin my Defensive Player of the Year. I think he does it again. I think he goes MVP, Defensive Player of the Year for the second time in his career. He's been playing at a special level, and if Milwaukee can get to that 1 seed, which is definitely in the possibility, I think he locks it up.
Wait, what?
1 seed.
Who?
Milwaukee.
They will get there. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that
if they can get there.
Oh, they ain't getting there, bro.
Why not?
They ain't getting there.
It's like 2.5.
It's over.
Yeah, it's Not that far
They're not
off.
gonna get there, bro.
Yeah, they're 2.5.
They ain't getting there, bro.
It
I'm just telling you, I don't think they're
Okay,
getting there.
whatever you say, bro.
could
I'm telling you,
happen.
they're not, bro. We ain't falling off. In Miami, they weird. They ain't definitely
Listen,
ain't falling off.
they both teams are just have depth for days. But you guys have been impressing me, given the fact that you haven't had Levine, no Lonzo.
Oh, we'll get all the
no
boys
Caruso,
back. We getting all the
and y'all
boys
are
back
still
next
winning.
month.
No
It's because
Patrick
DeMar
Williams.
DeRozan has been different. That would be my number 2 guy.
The only reason I don't pick DeMar is because he's been
Number
great.
3, Joel has been unbelievable.
He's been great all year. He's been great. He's been good all year. But he's been great. He hasn't been as great as Embiid or the Joker for me. All year. They've been consistently since day one. Been at an elite
That's
level.
interesting.
I don't think I think this
DeMar
last
DeRozan
stretch.
the whole season has been the best fourth quarter scorer in the league.
No, he's been the best fourth quarter, but these Joel Embiid and Joker have been the best 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter players in the league. They've been the best all year. And DeMar has Zach LaVine. He had Lonzo. He had a good cast of guys.
But then
before he went down,
Vooch too.
Yeah, before obviously when they went down, he stepped up his play. But Embiid hasn't had the type of pieces around him
And
like
another
that.
thing that's hindering me from leaning Joel Embiid is that Harden's about to join this team.
Yeah,
so we don't know how that's going to sway the voters. But it depends on how Harden plays. If Harden's the Nets Harden that I'm not expecting to see, and Joel Embiid's still doing what he's been doing on the basketball court, and they're still winning games, you have to look Embiid's way.
Yep.
But if Harden is what he was last season with the Nets before he got injured, on this Philadelphia team, it's
Scary.
going to be tough.
Joel Embiid, Giannis.
I'm gonna have to agree with Ray. Joel Embiid was my pick. It's for me, it's pretty self-explanatory. He's leading the NBA in scoring. He's averaging 11 rebounds a game. He's having a career high 4.5 assists per game, so he's getting better in that department. He's still elite defensively, although his offensive production has gone through the roof. He still maintains that elite level defense, that rim protection. Very, very good defender, and he's shooting about 38% from the 3 on about 6 attempts. And I was skeptical of Joel Embiid ever shooting over league average just because I didn't think that it was possible for him to do that. I didn't think that he was skilled enough to do that, but he's shown that he is borderline. I don't want to say elite because the numbers are telling me he's elite. I'm not going to claim him to be an elite three-point shooter, but 38% on 6 attempts is really, really firm. And it's really
I would
good.
say he's an
really
elite
good
big shooter.
Yeah, a really big shooter, definitely.
I thought elite was 40. I ain't gonna lie. 38 is really good to me.
I mean, another thing that helps with his case is, obviously the trade's happening now, so they're going to get James Harden after the All-Star break. But for most of the season, he's gone with an inconsistent Tobias Harris who has picked up his game as, the time has gone on. Ben Simmons, the whole drama with Ben Simmons. It's been a lot of turmoil surrounding Philly, and the fact that he's been able to maintain that elite level of play is amazing. We saw it in the start of the season when Philly was the number 1 seed. Joel Embiid goes down. I think he had COVID or an injury. They drop all the way to a 7th, 8th seed. I'm not sure which seed they drop to. The second he comes back, they're already at third. They're already the 3rd seed. And he's having such a spectacular season. The whole league knows, but even his own GM knows, we have to take advantage of this Joel Embiid and how amazing he's been this season. So they go out and get James Harden, somebody that could complement him. They're all hoping that James Harden, can regain that level of play that he was playing with when he first came to the Nets or even in Houston. And I think that was a perfect piece to surround him with. So, everything screams Joel Embiid. He's having a career high in points per game, leading the league in scoring, career high in assists, averaging close to 5 assists, shooting 38% from the 3, still maintaining an elite defense. And with his play now backed up by a co-star in James Harden, we're looking at Philly as a contender because we know that's how great Joel Embiid is, and James Harden is the guy that I think can complement him if everything goes well. So my pick for MVP is Joel Embiid. We saw at the start of the season, the second he came off when they were the number 1 seed, the second he goes out, they fall off. He comes back, plays great, beats great teams, and they're already there at number 3. Now you add James Harden, now they're instant contenders. So for me, it's Joel Embiid.
I'm going to go old school here. See, the MVP criteria is all over the place every single year. It's narrative based much of the time. Last year, Joel Embiid had the lead over Jokic because Embiid was winning. He was the one. Philly was the 1st seed last year. Then he got injured, and that's why Nikola Jokic, it got him. He was able to win the MVP, even though the media wanted to gift wrap it to Steph Curry despite not making the playoffs. That's a story for another day. You look at the year before. Giannis wins MVP. It's because Milwaukee was the best team in the league. when he robbed James Harden of the MVP in 2019, it was because they won 6 more games than Houston, despite Houston having Chris Paul and Clint Capella injured. There were times where the starting lineup for Houston was Austin Rivers, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Kenneth Faried, and Daniel House. I'm going old school in my MVP pick. The best player on the best team in the NBA. That's Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the MVP. He's the MVP.
You sure he's better than Book?
Yeah, he is better than Book.
I don't know about that.
15 points,
I don't know.
15 points, 11 assists basically. He's leading the league in assists. He has the best assist to turnover ratio in the NBA. In the history of the NBA, he is one of the best. You look at his resume historically, I know this is an in this season award, but his win share is one of the best all time. Everywhere he goes, he changes the culture of that team. Every single advanced stat points to the Suns. Outside of PER, DeAndre Ayton's leading the Suns in that currently. Every single advanced stat is Chris Paul. Box plus minus, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus, offensive rating, defensive rating, value over replacement. Every single advanced analytic points to Chris Paul. I know Devin Booker is scoring more than him. And hey,
defending too this year.
Devin Booker, if I wouldn't be mad if somebody says he's MVP. He deserves it. But when I look at this Phoenix Suns team, I look at a well-oiled machine, and I look at Chris Paul, and I say he's Steve Nash, and Devin Booker is Amari Stoudemire. Steve Nash was more valuable to the Suns. We knew he was the best player, although Amari scored the most. D-Book, we understand he's a great player. I think Chris Paul is the reason why the Suns were able to take such a big jump last year. And this year, I mean, they have 6 more wins than Golden State. Golden State, we were talking about them on a historic pace early in the year. I know that Draymond Green got hurt, but there's nobody close to Phoenix right now. There's nobody in their vicinity. This is a 60-plus win team. If the MVP isn't Chris Paul or Devin Booker, the NBA should be ashamed of itself because one of these two guys should be the MVP.
Okay, first of all, no. The MVP will not be in Phoenix. The MVP will not come from Phoenix. And it's
narratives.
No, it's not narrative. The difference is the guys you named. You said the best team in the best league should be the MVP. You said you brought up Giannis. He was number 1 seed. Giannis was averaging 28 and 14, bro. His numbers were ridiculous, bro. The difference, I think, would hit like the guys you said, even James Harden when he got robbed, wasn't he averaging like
36, 8, and 7?
He averaged 35.
Yeah, like the guys, look at the guys you're naming and then look at their numbers along with the fact that they're winning. Chris Paul is averaging 15 points and 11 assists, and he's the number 1 seed in the league, but DeMar's winning. Joel Embiid's winning. The Joker isn't winning as much, but he's
not
putting
like
up
Phoenix.
He's putting up record.
They're not winning like Phoenix.
They're not winning like Phoenix, but they're winning.
Steve Nash won the MVP, averaging similar numbers to Chris Paul, and Kobe averaged 35.
The difference with that was that Phoenix team was far more hurt and damaged than this Phoenix team. This Phoenix team hasn't seen many injuries like that Phoenix team. This Phoenix team hasn't seen many injuries like the Bulls. This team hasn't seen many injuries like the Nets. This team, for the most part, all year has been consistent throughout the
DeAndre Ayton's missed some time.
He's missed some, but not as much as every other team.
No, he's missed a lot of time. And it hasn't mattered. This also helps Chris Paul.
You said JaVale McGee was better.
No,
didn't DeAndre Ayton?
I said he was more impactful. I never said better.
So it didn't matter when you missed time.
No,
okay,
I'm pretty sure you said basically along the lines.
I said JaVale McGee
DeAndre Ayton's not
fills
essential.
in the same production. He has the same production as him. That helps Chris Paul's case. It doesn't matter what center you put in front of Chris Paul. Ayton is going to average 16 and 10. Jalen Smith upped his value with telling Chris Paul.
I agree.
Bismack Biyombo came in and was averaging a double-double.
He did.
JaVale McGee averaging 16 and 10 in DeAndre Ayton's absence. That's because they have Chris Paul.
Yeah,
that's why.
Oh my God!
I mean, does help. It helps. Case. It obviously helps with Chris Paul, but
Chris Paul has a case.
The amount of I know he has a case.
Listen, I didn't scoff at it because it's valid reason.
Look, my criteria is best player on the best team. If we want to go by just production, it's Nikola Jokic again.
But it's not.
He's having a better season than he did last season.
Production along with what your team is doing. And
leading the NBA in assists is not
it's
highly productive.
it's very Chris Paul.
He's still averaging 2 steals per game.
Let me ask you a question. Out of Chris Paul, Giannis, the Joker, and
Joel
Embiid, who has the least production individually?
It's Chris Paul, there's no doubt.
By far.
But who has the best team production by a wide margin?
Yeah,
Phoenix has a
Suns.
great team as well, though. It's not all just Chris Paul, bro.
I know it's not
They
all
have
just,
Devin
but it's not
Booker.
all just Giannis, though.
Bridges is a top 3 defensive
that's
player
what
of
I'm
the year
saying.
candidate right
That's a
now.
fact.
Devin Booker.
It's not all Giannis.
Is it all Joel Embiid?
Tyrese Maxey exploded. And Tobias is still
17
averaging
points.
19 a game.
Yeah, but he was
Look,
iffy on the whole year,
let-
though,
let-
bro.
why we gotta-
Phoenix
why-
has had consistently
Why
better
we're acting
players.
like Joel Embiid's playing with scrubs?
I'm not
But we're
saying
not. But
he's playing
is
with
Joel
scrubs.
Embiid playing with another star like Devin Booker?
Is
No
Are
way.
the Sixers
He's
team
not.
anywhere near the Suns?
Now with James Harden,
Well,
it
we're
is.
talking about
we're talking about right
we're
now.
talking about right now. So
what they
pre
have.
No,
James
it's
Harden.
not. There's
And
no
Jokic,
doubt about
we
it.
don't even have to talk about.
I mean, Jokic has by far the worst supporting cast out of all these
Yes,
candidates that
yes.
we've named.
definitely.
So, if there's a guy that we're looking at production only and we're still taking into team winning, it's Nikola Jokic again.
You don't think it's
this
Giannis
year.
at
It has
all?
to be
I
Joel
don't.
Embiid.
I think Giannis might be 2 or 3, but
I think what
If we're
Giannis,
going by
I think what
production-
Giannis does defensively helps as well.
no, you're right.
He's
but
a DPOY
has to
candidate. I
be.
think he's
Nicole-
number 1 right
if
now.
we're talking about
that counts with
Nikola
production.
Jokic has been a great
The
defender
Joker
this
has
year.
the worst
not to the
supporting
level of
cast,
Giannis.
right?
You're right.
But after the Joker, I'm pretty sure Embiid before these prior games has the worst supporting cast out of all the guys.
Why
we
is
just named.
Embiid
No,
over
I-
Jokic?
I
Outside of
agree
the
with
Joker.
that.
Outside of
Jokic has the worst supporting
But I said
cast,
after him
for
is
sure.
Say
Embiid.
after. He said
after
after.
him is Embiid. And Embiid's putting
Yes.
up the same type
Yes,
of production
yes,
is what
yes,
I'm
yes.
saying.
Your
Yes.
MVP was Embiid.
Yes.
Correct. Why did you put him over Jokic?
Because of his production and on top of his team, his team is better than the Joker's, but his team is not that great. He's been literally putting his team
saw
on his
what
back.
happened.
Do you
We
think?
saw what
Do you
happened.
think he's more productive than Jokic this year?
I don't think he's more productive. I think you can make the argument that his production is similar to the Joker's for his team. He's defensively, he's the rim
Elite.
protector. Offensively, he's the guy for them. Like
And
it's
defensively, it's night and day.
I don't know if it's night and
Oh
day.
my goodness.
Yeah, Jokic, y'all gotta stop sleeping on my
It's night and
guy,
day.
bro.
He's
Bro,
gotten
Joel
better this
Embiid is
season.
elite.
I don't
bro.
think Chris Paul is a top 5 MVP candidate.
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not that
That
ridiculous.
it is ridiculous.
Is he over DeMar DeRozan?
Wait, sorry. He is 5. I apologize. No. Yes,
Is he over
5.
DeMar?
No.
He's definitely not over DeMar.
DeMar's
you
in the top
said
4.
you said night and day with Jokic
Oh
and
God,
Embiid.
here we go.
defense.
Embiid, you classify as an elite defender.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Absolutely.
What do you classify Jokic as? I'm curious.
Solid.
He's a really good defender.
Solid.
Really good. Okay, I just verbatim last week you were on this show and said Sabonis
Oh, wow.
was an excellent one. Okay. So I need to know. So you're using the word excellent for Sabonis,
They're
but
pretty
but
similar
Jokic is really
defenders.
good.
They're pretty
Who?
similar
No, Jokic
defenders. I
is
would
better
take
than him.
Jokic a little
Jokic
bit.
is better than him. He proved that gap.
he got you with
Jokic
that
has
one.
gotten better this year. But I still think Jokic is a solid to good. Embiid is a great elite defender, bro. I'm sorry, you just can't put him in the same tier.
Jokic is great too, though.
No.
Yes,
you're
he
not
is.
getting that great out of me. No.
Well, it don't matter because when they match up,
No.
Jokic will cook Embiid.
And
easily.
Embiid will violate
Not
him right
even
back.
close.
You're bugging.
Not even close.
Word. Who has a better chance of guarding who?
It don't matter.
What do you
Jokic
mean it don't
was better
matter?
regardless.
Nah, that's a fact.
1-on-1 Embiid is violating him.
Yeah, okay.
He's not?
This is not a one-on-one contest.
No, but I'm saying though, like Embiid
I've
clears
seen-
him
I mean,
defensively.
one-on-one. Jamal.
Embiid clearly has the ability
Offensively,
to do it to anyone.
Look, okay. I don't want to sound disrespectful to Embiid because you know I'm a Philly fan right now.
Wow.
You gotta buy an
insane
Embiid
that you
jersey
said
now.
that.
Even after last show, he
Yeah, that was
absolutely
crazy.
He's got to
said-
buy an Embiid jersey now.
I'm rocking with James Harden this year. Philly, look, I'm rooting for them.
Got it.
But Jokic is on a different level than Embiid. I think he still
He's
is on a
not.
different
Here
level.
we
He's
go
not.
with this different level. Oh my god.
He's not. He's not.
Embiid is leading the league in scoring, bro.
We have more.
See, no, but now that's something interesting that I said Embiid was the most skilled big man in the league, and y'all laughed. What's wrong with me saying
Because
that?
I don't. He's not more skilled than
because
Jokic.
his playmaking is all time great.
But we're
that's
talking
He's the
Separate
about
best playmaking big of all time.
He-
we're talking about
literally is.
his ability. Like
He can,
Joel Embiid.
Joker's a better shooter, I think, in my opinion. He's a better playmaker.
Are you alluding to offensive versatility in
Correct.
terms of scoring?
Correct.
Because I think although you may have
the
to
Joker's
give the
more
slight
skilled
in,
on offense?
Because we're talking
Fake.
post game.
Fake is,
post
yeah.
game. I'm taking Embiid.
But everything else, I'm taking the
Jokic's
Joker.
post game is elite too, though.
have we been seeing some of these step backs that Embiid's been doing as well?
Definitely looks better. Doesn't mean he's more skilled.
Remember
I don't know, man.
those
It's
one-legged shots that Jokic is shooting?
It's
What
like
do they call
Harden's
those?
coming to
shuffles?
practice, and
He's
Joel
skilled, bro.
Embiid's really been working on that step back.
He needs to stop.
He traveled the other day.
He did, but then he worked in practice with James Harden. And he
Bro,
cleaned
what is
it
a
up.
big man doing?
But do you
step-back?
understand how skilled he is?
No, he's a great skilled-
Why
he's skilled.
I'm not upset at him doing something like
you're
that.
missing.
I just think
You're missing.
I just think
playmaking
Jokic is
in the
all
whole
time.
thing.
The playmate, no, 100%.
Jokic
That's
is the
where
best
Jokic
ever
got
at
it.
that. At that position, at the center, he's the best ever at that.
I'm not
so he
gonna
gets
disagree.
he has to get the edge.
There's an argument for Jokic being the best offensive big of all time.